already, guys. I was not expecting this news to drop today on Friday. I thought we were going to be getting the artifact, deep dive with the patch notes that we're getting on Monday. But this is awesome. This is a great appetizer for what's to come with season 9 and the combat changes. So let's check out these new artifacts and the reworks that are coming to 3 existing artifacts in the game. We've got, the Grey Wizard's hat, Creed boots, and the Vengeance life staff. I've been wanting this news so badly, so let's check it out. So first off, we've got the Plagued Herald mask. Once used by a mysterious plague doctor of Eternum, the Plague Herald mask turns disease into a deadly weapon. Ideal for aggressive support builds or disruptors, it punishes enemies with stacking on top of each other while requiring careful timing and positioning. Plague Spreader. Abilities and light attacks inflict a stack of 3% disease, a max of 10 stacks. So a total of 30% disease. You also gain 1% disease per stack applied. Wow. At 10 stacks, heavy attacks consume all stacks to trigger a 6-second cloud around the target, inflicting 20% disease and 10% weaken the nearby enemies, and it's a 12-second cooldown. So wow, that is amazing. This is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Obviously we have to test this out and in game, but on paper this looks promising and something that I'm definitely gonna try to get off rip as soon as season 9 drops on Tuesday. Yeah, it's available through the PvP track. Awesome. And so it's got gem slot leeching spectral ward, so I'm guessing the gem slot is taken up, but that's nice. It's spectral ward. We got refreshing and freedom, and then we can put a random perk on there. That's pretty good. Kind of wish maybe there'd be enchanted ward or something like that, but yeah, refreshing and freedom is very, very good. Yes, dude, this looks great, especially the with the amount of healing in the game right now. This is definitely a much needed to really build around a full plagued build, so I'm excited for it. Now we've got the Hammer of Yeet. Yes. You guys know hammer, that's my weapon right there. A spring-loaded relic of unknown origin, the Hammer of Yeet launches foes with explosive force and converts knockbacks into chain damage opportunities for Warhammer players who want both spectacle and impact. So it's intrinsic perk Yeet, plus 300% push damage and plus 10% base damage to all Warhammer knockbacks. Clear out ignites the first target hit, turning them into a projectile that deals 100% weapon damage to enemies they pass through. Wow, this is gonna be so fun, man. And then of course it does come with Sundering Clear Out. Yes, I was saying on stream, and when they at first announced this artifact will be coming in season 9, I was like, please put Sundering Clear Out as the weapon perk on this weapon. And then of course this got Plague Strikes, dude. Wow, they are cooking. And of course alternating enchantment and then a random perk, so I don't see a gem slot there. Hopefully we get gem setting pins, would be really nice. Otherwise it may hinder the damage a little bit, because I would like to get that turquoise on there. But yeah, this looks so good. I'm really excited, and it's on the PvP reward track. So we got 2 artifacts on the PvP reward track. Now onto Crescents Wave. This weapon I'm very skeptical about, and because it was very, very strong in the PvP servers, so I hope they tuned it correctly. Infused with a volatile arcane energy, the Crescents Wave gives Greatsword users a magical ranged option with a mana driven twist. Its unique wave mechanic creates windows for high burst at long range. Parallax, 12% base damage to targets further than 10 meters, applies to both weapons. Oh man, why did they add that? Oh damn, this thing actually could cook with a bow. I think that's the greatsword bow pairing. Definitely this will probably see some utility with that, so we'll have to see. But that 12% base damage, that is pretty strong. Not gonna lie. Crescent Wave, while above 50% health, heavy attacks cast a projectile forward, dealing 150% weapon damage. Melee heavy attack damage is reduced by 50%. Let's go. Okay, so they did hear the criticism and they tuned it accordingly. Each wave costs 20 mana, and it's got thwarting strikes, not trenchant strikes. Yes, because that was one thing that was very strong about this artifact in the PvP server, where it was the trenchant strikes was not only proccing off the wave but also the melee attack too. So, and when you would hit a target in melee range, it was double proccing the trenchant strike. So I'm glad it's thwarting strikes, so you know, dial that back a bit. And it's got sundering stacks. This is interesting because, oh man, very interesting. So sundering stacks takes up an attunement slot. Like I said, you know, will we get gem setting pins on this random perk? And this is also in the PvP reward track at level 20, as we saw that they posted the season pass rewards the yesterday. I think they're cooking with these artifacts. I'm actually liking it. You know, they're really you know, making them powerful. You know, I think that's a good thing. And then, you know, I guess you have to see how they play out in the sandbox and then adjust accordingly if they are too overpowered. But I hope, you know, they let these artifacts play out for a little bit before making any crazy changes. I am a little worried on that 12% base damage to targets farther than 10 meters. Like I said, I think this artifact will see a pairing with a bow, especially those that do like that bow greatsword combo. Now on to the remastered artifacts. This is what I was also looking forward to the most. So we've got Vengeance, the life staff. This remastered life staff encourages mobility, burst healing, and thoughtful targeting, built for support players who want to contribute beyond healing over time. Life support. Outgoing healing is increased by 25% when not affected by any life staff healing over time effects. That's important. So it's going to make you use other forms of healing abilities with the life staff. When basic attack passes through allies, they gain 20% stamina regen and 30% mana regen for 3 seconds. All right, I like the utility here. You know, it's giving people another option, especially as far as like a healer goes, being able to work around a different build here. So this is nice. So, you know, a good variety of options, especially when it comes to artifacts, and making them unique is what makes this game really thrive, especially in the PvP sandbox. Keen Beacon reworked in this release to grant increased crit damage instead of crit chance. Refreshing move, Enchanted, and then a random perk, and it's available through the PvP reward track. Wow, so I guess all of these are looking to be through the PvP reward track. And now we got the Grey Wizard's hat, a light armor helm designed for fast casting spell slingers. By managing your mana pool wisely, you can squeeze in more heavy hits, less charge time. Quicken casting while above 50% mana. Magic weapon. Keep in mind, magic weapon. Ranged heavy attacks charge 25% faster. Interesting. Now that I'm looking at this, do you guys think they would consider Crescent Wave a magic weapon? Because if so, this would definitely see play with Crescent Wave. Wow. 25. Could you imagine? Oh my god. I hope it doesn't consider Crescent Wave a mana weapon. Oh man. I don't think it will. But if it does, that would be crazy. It does say magic weapon, and you know, Crescent Wave is a great sword, so that is considered a melee weapon. But you never know, we know, with stuff like that. So that'll be something we'll have to test. You know, I'm 90% sure that's not the case. But yeah, magic weapon, ranged heavy attacks, that will charge 25% faster. So that is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then you got a gem slot. It's empty socket. Refreshing. Physical aversion. Damn. Physical aversion, kind of a throwaway there. But then yeah, we got a random perk slot as well, available through the PvP reward track. So no longer you have to grind portals to get the Grey Wizard's hat. So there you go. Now we've got the Creed boots. This rework brings a new layer of power to critical hits from stealth, headshots, and backstabs, ideal for precision assassins and light weapon users alike. Okay, so ambush, backstabs, and headshots deal 20% increased crit damage and apply a 10% weaken for 5 seconds. You also gain 10% in power and 10% crit chance for 5 seconds. Target cannot be ambushed again for 15 seconds. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see how this will go. It could see some play. Oh man, it definitely could, especially with the 15% damage buff to flail without a shield. Yeah, this could definitely see some play. Definitely a lot better than it was before, that's for sure. And then it's got an open gem socket, refreshing and freedom. They're really going in with the refreshing perks here. And then it's available through the PvP reward track. Artifact tuning update. We also made a minor but meaningful update to Trsna. Bro! Oh my gosh. Oh, bro. Consume now applies 25% lifesteal, not to just knock down enemies, but also to stunned, rooted, and sluggish targets. What? This broadens its usability across various crowd control based builds. Dude! Okay, Trsna now... Oh, man. No way. Trsna is now a really good artifact. Oh, man. Dude, how many times have I been saying this on stream that they need to rework consume on Trsna? I was saying it should not just be knocked down enemies, but also stunned. They went above and beyond and went with rooted and sluggish targets. So it's like, wow, that is crazy. Oh my gosh, that is gonna change this artifact up a ton. I'm looking forward to that a lot. Man, this is shaping out to be just from these artifacts alone, like this. They finally nailed it with the artifacts and the reworks for this season. So looking ahead, season 9 introduces a new rhythm for how we approach artifacts, fewer releases per season, with a tighter focus on impact, creativity, and player utility, adding a mix of new items that open up fresh builds and reworking underused artifacts. We're aiming to keep gear diversity high while making sure older favorites don't fall behind. We hope these additions give you more flexibility in how you play. As always, we're looking forward to hearing what you think. We'll see you in a tournament. Yes. Wow. You AGS, I got to give you guys props. This was great. I think this is a great step in the right direction, and moving forward, can't wait to see what you guys have in store for the future as far as, you know, more reworks as well as the new artifacts, because this turned out to be probably the best artifact drop, you know, update for a season. You know, obviously we don't know what's coming in season 10 as far as artifacts go. They could really turn it up, you know, to 11 for season 10 as well. But man, this is looking great. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did AGS cook with these changes and the new artifacts coming in season 9? As always, guys, I'll catch y'all in the next one.